Okay, so today we are talking about what can keep you from releasing the weight you want. Trey's going to talk about his transformation and what he needed to do to get back into the gym and get back on track. And we should be, I don't hear anything right now, but the music should be on, right, Brian? There it is, right on cue. Okay, Trey. Trey, you're going to go by Bigelow today, or you're going to buy Trey?
Don't put my cell phone up. I don't care.
And it seems like your best ain't good enough. If you're in need of hope, you know where
It's a bad angle. I look like Chinese phone book.
Right here.
Okay, bring your phone up. Bring your phone up.
You can count on me. I'll be right here.
There you go.
Right here waiting for you.
This is the place you can always turn to when you need a friend. The Lillian McDermott Show. To reach out to Lillian, visit her on the web at whenyouneedafriend.com. Now let's all learn together. Here's Lillian McDermott.
Hello, my listening friend. It's so nice we can meet each other on the air on this beautiful best day ever. And for those of you who are new to the Lillian McDermott radio show, the purpose of the show is to provide a safe place that you can go to when you need a friend. It is my commitment to provide alternative ways to heal, and it is my mission to make awareness, responsibility, and truth a part of our everyday life. And I hope you, my listening friend, will feel empowered to live the life of your dreams. Now, speaking of dreams, I got to tell you, it's always a dream to have Trey Stouffer. He's the CEO of Transformations Medical Weight Loss Clinic. And I just have to ask, guess what time it is? It's transformation time. Now, we are getting to the end of the year. And I hope that all of us are reflecting on what we want our next year to look like. What is it that you want for next year? And if you want to release weight, so what's keeping you from doing it? What kept you from doing it this year? For some of you, you might experience pain, and that might keep you from working out. Trey Stouffer, the CEO of Transformations Medical Weight Loss Clinic, has come on the show several times to talk about his surgery that he had, and that caused him to stay away from the gym for a while and eat the same calories that he was eating before. And so it had an adverse reaction, excuse me, which usually happens when you do that kind of formula. Too much food in and less exercise. Hold on a second. Trey, you need to take over. Anyway, no, you shaking his head no. I see you. Okay, so Trey, share a little bit about yourself. And okay, so let me just say that it is our sole purpose in life to give and receive love and knowledge. And I'm grateful that Trey Stouffer, CEO of Transformations Medical Weight Loss Clinic, is here to do just that. Welcome, Trey.
Thank you. Good seeing you. Not good hearing you, but good seeing you. I know. She's coughing away, so I'll take over. I'm going to be chatting a little bit about the weight loss / recovery that I went through this year, but quite frankly, it's all about the health. The better you are health-wise, your every aspect of life is going to just propel. Tammy Bennett, Dr. Tammy Bennett, is a doctor of Chinese medicine. She's going to be introduced on the show today. She does acupuncture, and I'll let her get into a lot of the things that she does dynamically. But she's at our Lake Mary location, and quite frankly, one of the reasons why I enjoy having her around and here is she has a plethora of knowledge and for the betterment of health. Weight loss is my primary focus, but health is the end-all goal. So that's why we have her on the show today. I think
that's
Lillian
wonderful.
Finally back. There you go.
Yes, I have a little tickle in my throat this morning. And so, Trey, you have been very open with your recent journey, your health journey, or your journey back to health. And part of it that you had said, you went through some major surgery. How much pain were you in? And did that keep you from working out?
Well, quite frankly, I wasn't in that much pain. but it definitely kept me from working out because two of the primary workouts that I do are bike riding and running. And with the surgery that I had, I couldn't sit on a bike for months and months.
Sure.
And then, of course, once I got up to about 195. And so just figuring, which something I knew, as we all do. We all know what's wrong. We just don't always do it. So just change some of the habits, get back in the routine. And through the process, multiple different criteria have helped me, including Tammy with acupuncture.
Okay, so let's talk about how it has helped you. You said you were in mild pain, but at what point did you seek Oriental medicine?
Well, listen, I believe in this stuff. I've been doing acupuncture for years.
Good.
And anytime that something is wonky within my body, I lean to that. Chiropractic. There's Eastern medicine and Western medicine are wonderful. One of the reasons why I wasn't in pain is because I was taking pain pills. But I was weaning off that. You want to go more of the natural route. I'm crazy, not stupid.
and for those of you who would like to release weight, if that's part of your goal, to be healthy for the new year, or to finish the year without the temptations of the holiday parties or anything to that effect, this is a good way to stay in check, to keep the pulse on your body, so to speak, so that you can live the life that you want. And we're going to continue talking to Trey Stouffer, CEO of Transformations Medical Weight Loss Clinic, and we're going to introduce you to Dr. Tammy Bennett when we return worldwide at whenyouneedafriend.com. We'll be right here waiting for you.
You can count on me. I'll be right here waiting for you.
You can text Lillian McDermott or leave her a voicemail at 407-373-5959. Once again, here's Lillian.
And welcome back to the Lillian McDermott Radio Show, where we always learn from one another. And today's teachers are Trey Stouffer, the CEO of Transformations Medical Weight Loss Clinic. Because as you know, Transformations is a sponsor of the Lillian McDermott Radio Show. And I love it when like-minded businesses come together and decide that they want this kind of programming on the air. And I am just so grateful to you, Trey, for always being on target, on time, and ready to go. Look at your face.
I'm here.
You're here. Okay, so Trey, we talked about how you've been doing Oriental medicine and acupuncture and different forms of it. And because of it, you were able to get off your pain medication. Tell us more about that.
Okay, I won't expound on the level that I was going to. I was going to say, I went to rehab, but that's not accurate. The acupunctures and overall health, it really didn't get me off the pain medication per se. So maybe we had a miscommunication in prior conversation.
Yeah. Okay. So tell us your current state.
Oh, my current state, I'm batshit crazy, and you can't say that on radio. Sorry. So I maintain through this process, and Tammy's going to explain why the acupuncture, amongst other things, helps maintain and help and improve the health standards of what we do.
Okay. So would you like to introduce Dr. Tammy?
I can introduce Dr. Tammy Bennett, and she's I've known Dr. Bennett, Tammy, for several years now, and I've just learned. So Tammy, take it.
I will. Thank you, guys. I appreciate the intro. I think one of the fundamental things that we need to talk about is what pain actually does to the body and how it affects our ability to gain or lose weight. So when someone's in pain, the challenge that we have is that the body likes to lay down inflammation to try to deal with it. Mm-hmm. And so inflammation in its very nature is counterproductive to a weight loss program. right? So you want to keep the pain as low as possible. And you also want to keep the body as drug-free as possible, because medications, by and large, cause, in a lot of the time, side effects.
Mm-hmm.
So side effects for medication can be weight gain. It can also be water weight retention, or retention of water in the hands and the feet. So that's counterproductive to a weight loss program. So using something more natural to try to help the body heal creates a homeostasis. The quicker the body can get to homeostasis, the better off we are.
Very good. So, so share a little bit about your journey to Eastern medicine and how that happened for you. Because I don't think we've ever had an acupuncturist or a doctor of Oriental medicine on the show. So share about your journey and what led you to this form of healing.
Well, about 25 years ago, I was involved in a relationship whereby my partner was in the construction field, and he was injured lifting a header. The guy in front of him dropped the header, and he held onto the header as best he could, which caused him to trip. When he tripped, he herniated 3 discs in his back. And that was the beginning of my journey with him to learn about Oriental medicine and modalities of healing that were non-narcotic. He was narcotic resistant. So he had to find alternate ways to heal his body. One of the things that happened for us at that time, he was about 185 pounds, and within 6 months, he blew up to about 235.
Wow.
Most was because he had to take steroids initially because he couldn't take narcotics, and they were trying to reduce the inflammation. The challenge that we had was that not only was he gaining weight from the steroid, but he was home because he couldn't work, and he was gaining weight because he was sedentary.
Sure.
So we had a double challenge, if you will. So we were referred to a surgeon, and the surgeon said that it was a 50-50 shot that he could help him. So we ended up looking for alternate methods of healing, and we ended up at a small school in Oviedo, Florida, and met with the director, and he said, we think we can help, and it was affordable. So we went through about 6 weeks of hardcore acupuncture. It was daily, and he started to see results after about 3 weeks, and it was fairly miraculous. And so at that time, I had inquired about the program. I was very interested. I wanted to be a student, and I did my due diligence, learned about different forms of education in the state of Florida, and then became an acupuncture physician 4 years later.
Wow, that's a great story. I love that journey that led you there. Now, you mentioned narcotic resistance. What does that mean?
So in his case, he had addiction issues in the past. And so for him, the amount of medication that it would take to help his pain was so high that the doctor felt that he was high risk to become addicted again. And so we were looking for other forms of treatment for him.
Okay, good.
This was even before that whole opiate addiction situation that started. This was way in advance of that.
I got it. And a lot of people are addicted to pain medications, and it starts very innocently, maybe knee surgery, or maybe they do have a tooth pulled or something to that effect, and they immediately put them on these medications that cause addiction. You know, it causes the body to break down and rely on this medication. So let's talk about acupuncture and Oriental medicine, because I know that Western medicine focuses on the blood. Western medicine focuses on the flow of blood, but Eastern medicine focuses on water. Did I do my research okay?
You've got a snippet of that.
Okay.
I'll expand on it.
Yes.
I think a little bit of background history is important here. So acupuncture is one subset of what is called traditional Chinese medicine. So you've got an entire medicine program around the human body that's quite different than the Western model. The Western model is very much like an assemblage of parts. You know, we go to a doctor's office and you go to a general practitioner, and the GP looks at your overall health and wellness. And if something's going wrong, let's say you're having headaches, they'll send you to a neurologist, which is a specialist in something that deals with the head and the neck area. Or if you hurt your hand, they might send you to an orthopedic doctor, right? So when you're looking at Western medicine, the model is very body part specific. In Eastern medicine, you're looking at the whole body, the surroundings, your environment, the planet, and everything that you have that can occur in the planet can occur within the body. So dryness, heat, flood, which would be like hydration and things of that nature. So it's very global in its nature. And acupuncture is just one part of that. But the reason acupuncture gets such a good rap these days is because acupuncture is one of those things that stimulates the body to create its own homeostasis, its own balance, whereby Western medicine involves things outside the body to fix it, right? So we're not really trying to stimulate the body's own response in Western medicine. We're trying to put something in the body that's foreign in a way to it. So it's quite different.
Okay. And
The
so
other thing
let
I
me go ahead. Can you repeat that again?
Sure. The one thing I also wanted to mention is that acupuncture as its own form of medicine has been recognized in the U.S. since the mid-1970s.
Okay. And so you said that 4 years later you became a physician.
Yes.
Prior to that, what were you doing?
I was involved with a group here in the Seminole County area doing outside sales.
Okay.
And I worked in the IT industry for a period of time. It was pretty much sort of a means to an end. It wasn't the be-all, end-all for a career for me. I was lucky that acupuncture found me.
Mm-hmm.
It was not a passion thing until I really saw what the outcomes could be for someone like my ex-husband and what he went through. I figured if anybody could be well that was a skeptic, it would be him.
Very good. Very good. Now, Trey, what are some of the changes that you've seen in your body as a result of acupuncture when it comes to staying focused to be able to release the weight that you wanted to release when you had your surgery or get healthier?
I don't know that there's any, again, per se physical changes because I do so much of this stuff on a maintenance level. I just know when I don't, it reduces stress, it reduces tension, just gets everything flowing like it should, mentally, physically.
And so that helps you feel healthy so that you act healthy, because first it's the thoughts, then you feel it, and then you act it. So that's been a part of your regimen. It's part of your healing practice. Oh,
of course. And, and we preach and teach health first, and the byproduct of health is weight loss. It just goes down the natural path for me to stay as mentally and physically active and cohesive as I can.
Very good. Very good. Okay. So, Dr. Tammy, you had mentioned, and we're talking today with Trey Stouffer, the CEO of Transformations Medical Weight Loss Clinic, and Dr. Tammy Bennett. She is an Oriental Medicine doctor. So, Dr. Bennett, when you started doing this program, that was about 25 years ago?
It was
25 years ago. Have things changed in Oriental medicine?
It's funny. Oriental medicine's been in existence for over 5,000 years, and really not much has changed. And I think that's the beauty of it. And I'll answer that question twofold. Not much has changed in the body of what we do because it's very much based on how the human body works. It's very logical. It's very practical. We just want to create balance where there isn't balance. But what's changed is the community. People are more accepting now, more than ever, looking at alternative therapies for common problems because they want to look at the least invasive treatment possible first. And I think that's something that has shifted over the last 20 years. When I started my practice in Longwood, it was 20 years ago, almost to the day. Mm-hmm. And physicians and clients were not educated on what this modality is. And it took a lot for me to get into the community and give educational seminars over and over and over again to get people aware of what we do. Once the awareness was there people were able to make decisions and come on board and say, you know what, this is not a, I'm going to say voodoo medicine, because a lot of people would call it that. This is not a voodoo medicine thing. This is an actual, there's a science behind it. There's information from the National Institute of Health and the World Health Organization, and it is legitimate and it has legs.
Very good. That's so important, because there's a lot of people that are out there claiming that, they're, whatever they're doing is healing people, but maybe it's an anecdotal kind of evidence as opposed to medically based or science based. And this is why I wanted to, when Trey mentioned to have you on the show, I thought this is great. It's wonderful that Transformations Medical Weight Loss Clinics wants to make everybody aware that there's other ways to be healthy. Of course, nutrition is one way. And so I'm glad that you are on the show today. And we're going to continue discussing, how does it work in our body? How does acupuncture work in our body and other modalities? And we're going to continue our conversation with Trey and Dr. Tammy worldwide at whenyouneedafriend.com. We'll be right here waiting for you. Yeah, you can't hear it. You can't hear the music, but are you seeing the messages from the station? Tammy?
I see the countdown where it says 9876544.
Okay, that's it. Okay, good. Okay. So type in an A, and when you type in an A, that tells me, add me into or acknowledge me, because you want to add to what somebody said, or you want to be acknowledged in because there's something that you want to say, okay? So if Trey's speaking and you want to say something, just type in that A, and then I'll switch to you. I'll say, Dr. Tammy, is this something that you would like to
I'll be right here waiting for you.
You can text Lillian McDermott or leave her a voicemail at 407-373-5959. Once again, here's Lillian.
Welcome back to the Lillian McDermott Radio Show, where you can hear us worldwide at whenyouneedafriend.com. I am your host, Lillian McDermott, and today I am telling you that it is so important to go through life with childlike wonder. Everybody is a teacher. Everybody is a student, especially when you have Trey Stouffer on the show, the CEO of Transformations Medical Weight Loss Clinic. You never know what's going to come out of his mouth. And I am just so grateful to him for becoming a sponsor of the Lillian McDermott Radio Show. As I always say during the show, this is where we take responsibility. And I want to encourage you to own the responsibility, take responsibility, and become a subscriber of the Lillian McDermott Radio Show. And I always ask you to check out my sponsors. Well, Trey Stouffer of Transformations Medical Weight Loss Clinic is one of those sponsors. Because of him and Transformations Medical Weight Loss Clinics, this show is on the air. This is where we learn and grow together. This is where we say, you know what? I may not like my past, but I am willing to change it. I may not like where my health is now, but I'm willing to do whatever it takes. What is that? So today we're talking about acupuncture. Acupuncture can relieve so many different things. And so our teacher for acupuncture is Dr. Tammy Bennett. She's an Oriental Medicine doctor. And so I want to encourage you to go to whenyouneedafriend.com. All her information, all of Transformations Medical Weight Loss Clinic's information is on my site. So please become a subscriber. And as I said, check out my sponsors and figure out a way that you can support them. You can also like me on my social media. So check out, when you go to whenyouneedafriend.com, all of that. Just play there and be a part of the conversation on and off the air, before show starts and after. And as always, if you have any questions, you can call or text me at 407-373-5959. So as I mentioned today, we are talking about acupuncture, Oriental medicine. What does it mean? Why is it helping people? And I want to clarify, Trey, when you spoke earlier, I thought you said you were still on medication. And so I want to make sure that we clarify that you are not on medication. You are not on pain medication at this point, right?
No, not not at all, actually.
Not at all. So you're using, how do you use acupuncture? How do you use Oriental medicine for your everyday life?
Stress relief, muscle fatigue. It helps with all that. You know, if I've had a really long bike ride, I'll ask Tammy to help me out there. Or if I'm having a stressful week, I'll ask for some acupuncture.
Okay. So Dr. Tammy, is that normal? Is this something that you get requests all the time? I'm feeling stress. I need to come see an acupuncturist, and what can you do for me?
Yeah, I get it all the time, actually. There's very rarely a case that doesn't come to me where stress is not a factor. I like to tell people, even a Buddhist monk on the top of the beautiful mountain that is meditating all day, there has to be some stress, right? There has to be something. A bumblebee lands on his nose, right? So there's something that can be stressful for everyone. There's always something. And I wanted to bring something up. One of the things that I found is part of the issue, doubling back to the weight loss thing, is cortisol, right? We've seen those commercials where they have the video graphic of somebody drawing someone with a big belly, and they say, this is a cortisol belly, that kind of thing. Cortisol is your stress hormone, right? So it's secreted by your adrenal glands. It's released into the bloodstream. It's your fight or flight response. And when that is occurring on a daily basis or hourly basis for some people, it inhibits your ability to lose weight. And that's something that I wanted to double back on, because we're coming up to the holiday season and people get stressed out when they're coming up to the holidays, whether they put self-pressure on as far as decorating the house, or making things just perfect, or dealing with in-laws or family members that come into town that are stressful people, or they have to have difficult conversations with family members during this time of year. Those things compound already difficult issues with weight loss, not just with pain management, like what Trey had. So it's something that we need to look at from a global perspective in the body, right? We have stress hormones that are floating around in the bloodstream all day long. Acupuncture will help to balance the neurotransmitters that are precursors to the hormones and help them become less impactful to our bodies in a negative way.
Very good. So again, you had mentioned at the beginning of the show that you were in a relationship where someone suffered herniated discs in the lower back. 3 of them, you said, right? There were 3. And how did acupuncture help that person? Because now that's a physical, you're saying that, you know, stress can be an emotional and also affect the body, but now you have a physical component where you have herniated disc. How can acupuncture help a herniated disc?
Acupuncture in and of itself has the ability to stimulate 3 chemicals in the body that help relieve pain. One is an endorphin response, and the second is an enkephalin response. Those are 2 what we call feel-good chemicals. We can release those neurochemicals on our own by doing things we really enjoy. Do you remember back in the 80s, they used to say something called a runner's high?
Yeah.
Everybody's running and they get high from running. That's a neurochemical high, right? That's what our body gets flooded with. Acupuncture does that by the very nature of just inserting needles into the body. The third chemical that our body produces, which is a corticosteroid, and if you think about those 2 words, right, cortisone and steroid, they're not uncommon terms in traditional Western medicine. So we release our own anti-inflammatory chemical, and that its very own neurochemical response is what goes to that herniated disc and reduces the swelling in the area, which then reduces the pain. And because there's a physical condition going on, you want to reduce as much of the inflammatory response as possible to allow the body to heal on its own. So the patient, in that case, my ex-husband, would continue to have the dysfunction in the disc, but he would have less pain because of the use of acupuncture. And over time, the body would then respond by either fusing the discs and getting rid of the waste material from the herniation naturally. And then he would, over time, of course, have to rebuild his body through rehab, exercising his core and keeping his core strong and making sure that he didn't do heavy lifting again to the extent that he had been, and maybe continuing on without any surgical intervention in the future. He actually never had a surgical intervention. I haven't seen him in a long time, but to my understanding, he's gone on to go back into what they call light duty in the construction field in the last 10 years.
Wow. So it was that successful for him.
Yes.
So what are other reasons people come to see a doctor of Oriental medicine or receive acupuncture?
I would say the top 5, first would be pain. The second would be for stress. The third would be for infertility. And the fourth and fifth, we could jockey back and forth. Any kind of gut issues, for example, IBD, IBS, Crohn's colitis, and then menstrual dysfunctions, not infertility specifically, but cramps and moods, swings from menstrual issues.
Okay. So when you said gut issues, so you said go back and forth, gut issues and what?
Back and forth between menstrual and gut.
Menstrual. Okay.
Hormonal, yeah.
Got it. So hormonal and gut. Got it. Okay. So, or did I say gut it? So, so you are certified in different kinds of therapies within Oriental medicine.
Correct. The state of Florida, just to speak to my tribe in Florida, we have a Practice Act, and the Practice Act is in State Statute 457. And if you open up the law books and you look at the statute, there are a multitude of modalities within Oriental medicine that we can use to treat a patient. One of those is acupuncture. The others are nutritional counseling and lifestyle management, Chinese herbal medicine, homeopathic medicine, laser biotherapeutics, just to name a couple. So we have basically, if remember in the old days, the doctor would have the black bag and come to the house,
Yes.
open up the bag, and he would have his tools. Those are my tools in my bag of medicine, so to speak, to be able to help a patient get well.
Very good. Very good. Now, Trey, of those modalities, do you stick to the same thing over and over, or have you tried different things?
Listen, I'm open for most of the stuff that they apply.
Yeah.
There's no telling what she'll try to throw on me. I mean, we've got cupping, we've got acupuncture, and what's the heat?
Oh, walk.
Walk.
You walk him? You walk him?
Yeah, I have a giant walk. No, it's called, so there are 3 other things in the bodywork therapy.
Okay. So why don't we hold that thought and keep us at the edge of our seats, and we're going to continue our conversation with Dr. Tammy Bennett. She's an Oriental medicine doctor, and Trey Stouffer, CEO of Transformations Medical Weight Loss Clinic. We'll be right here waiting for you. Okay. So keep that in mind. So you do cupping as well?
Oh, yes, all the time.
How effective is that?
Very.
It is.
So this is it's probably, if you've heard of the word fascia release, right? The term fascia release, or have you looked at that Ashley Black guru on Facebook? She does the fascia blasting. Do you know what that is?
No, I've not seen that.
You
What's
should
her
have her
name?
on your
Ashley
show.
Black?
Ashley Black, yeah. They call her Ashley Black Guru. So she has a product that's taken the market by storm. It's called the Fascia Blaster.
Mm-hmm.
I do that using cupping and something called gua sha, which is a bodywork therapy technique. And one of the things that we can double back to with how this relates to weight loss is it is wonderful for inch reduction in specific areas. So if I've got a client who has, let's say, saddlebags, their hips are a little wide and they're super conscientious about that, I can actually work the fascia and reduce inches in local areas to help the client fit into their jeans better.
Wow.
Yeah, so
Okay.
Trey does his job.
So
He gets a loss globally.
Yeah, we weren't able to talk before the show. And I wanted to share with you that I was rear-ended back in June this year. And as a result, I have 4 herniated discs.
Oh, my.
And I am proud to say that I've taken turmeric, ginger, and I also have a microcurrent machine.
Excellent.
So that's what I've been doing. So I still am, I still have issues with my shoulder, and I've had issues with my neck. I've lost the range of motion, but I am well, and I continue to say myself that I am well. How can you help me?
I would basically I would be able to add the anti-inflammatory on steroids effect for you. So what you're already doing is laid the foundation for you to be well, and then adding additional anti-inflammatory properties that your body can produce on its own, stimulating it further to what I would call jack up the system and make it more pliable. So in your case, on the gua sha side, which you haven't had, have you done massage therapy?
Massage therapy? No,
Yes.
they have not. I've only done, I went to see Dr. Nisam Razak in Orlando. He's a neurosurgeon. And I went to see, let me know, Brian, when it's time to come back. I also go to an upper cervical chiropractor.
Good.
And I go to physical therapy.
So I would add gua sha and moxa to your regimen to allow your physical therapy to work better, to give you greater range of motion, number one. And when your muscles, when you're in a car accident and the muscles lock up like your seatbelt does, it's a protective mechanism. And the herniation is one of the physical situations going on, but those other muscles need to be worked on to loosen up, to give you the flexibility back again. Blood flow and circulation into that area is important, because the more the muscles become rigid and less nourished with blood, the worse it's going to get over time, to where your range of motion will be limited. In 10 years, you'll lose maybe 5 degrees, and you really don't want that. You want to have full range of motion, especially in the rehab phase.
Yes.
So I would be happy to do that. The gua sha, the cupping, a little bit of acupuncture will help be an integrative piece of what you're currently doing. And you're doing all upper cervical. Thank God somebody put you in an upper cervical, because if they took you to a regular chiropractor, you may not have had as good a result.
Well, I did originally go to, I've known about this doctor, but originally I had gone to someone to do active release technique. She didn't realize that I had 4 herniations, and she did active release technique, and it's C4 through C7.
Ooh.
And the next day I couldn't walk.
Yeah. Did you have tingling in your hands and feet?
I still have a little numbness, but they're surprised. They're just saying that because I'm so healthy, I can tolerate more pain.
Well, I think that's a glossy way to say it. I think there's a lot physically going on for you.
Okay, I think, okay, hold on a second. Something's going on. Hold on a second. Something's happening. Call in. Okay. He lost us. So there's an internet. Let me see what's going on here. I think we lost internet. I can see.
Quit poking.
Hey, what's going on? Do we need to change? You want to change the Zoom meeting?
Dog barking.
Another. And, we are so on top of things right now. We are having some internet connection issues, but hopefully you can hear me just well. And today we're talking to Dr. Tammy Bennett. Before we went off the air, we were talking about the different forms of acupuncture. And Dr. Tammy, you had mentioned, and Dr. Tammy, if you want to learn a little bit more about Dr. Tammy, you can go to TammyBennettOMD.com. That's Tammy Bennett OMD.com. And as always, you can go to transformationsweightloss.com. I want to tell you a little bit more about transformations, actually, before we get back on. Transformations, there's probably a location near you. So if you live in Oviedo, Orlando, Lake Mary, Claremont, Kissimmee, Tampa, Melbourne, Mildura, and I'm trying to get them to Jacksonville, then you can go to call 877-827-8669. That's 877-827-8669. And I don't know if we lost Trey. Trey, are you there? Well, I guess we lost Trey. Okay, so Tammy, Dr. Tammy, thank you so much for being on the Lillian McDermott radio show today. And so share a little bit about the fascia blaster that you were talking about before. You talked about cupping. How is that different than acupuncture?
So when you're looking at the fascia as a whole, we're surrounded by fascia in our bodies, right? It's like a saran wrap coating over all of the muscles in our body. And there's a woman named Ashley Black that's all over Facebook, and she has something called a fascia blaster. I've been doing cupping for a long time. Cupping is the traditional Chinese medicine version of fascia blasting. And when we do it, it leaves these, we call them crop circles, but they're very much, they look like big giant hickeys. And what they're pulling the blood to the surface and allowing proper, good red oxygenated blood into an area that's not been nourished properly. It's stagnant. That's the term that we use in Chinese medicine. Fascia blasting is not new, but the way that this woman has brought fascia blasting to the forefront, educating people and using an instrument that she developed herself, is very unique, and she's just gone crazy with it. And she's got some really good educational videos out there. And like I said, I've been doing this for a long time, the cupping. We do another thing in Chinese medicine called gua sha. Mm-hmm. Gua sha is literally means the word scrape, to scrape. Mm-hmm. And so we use a liniment like tiger balm or some kind of vitamin E or arnica lotion. We apply it to the muscle area, and then we actually scrape along the fascia. It sounds terribly painful. It is not. It's actually very relaxing. Works really well. We bring the blood flow and circulation up to the area that's needed. We put the cups on top to add a layer of depth to it. Gua sha can only go so deep, and when you add the cupping to it, it gets deeper. You may remember Michael Phelps in the Olympics. He did cupping. He had those marks on his back. Yeah, that was a pretty popular time for cupping. People would call and ask me for it all the time. And then prior to that, Gwyneth Paltrow had gone down the red carpet. And had that backless dress, right? So that's when stars do that, I get calls every 20 minutes to get cupping and the next thing from the traditional Chinese medicine bag of medicinals that we have available. In the case of cupping and fascia blasting, I wanted to double back to the weight loss thing. People that have weight loss, they lose weight everywhere, right? You lose weight in your face, your arms, your midsection, your legs.
Yes.
Inevitably, people are left with areas of their body that they still don't like. Saddlebags being one of them. When you do fascia blasting on the saddlebags, you get even tone of the musculature, and you also get reduction of cellulite, and you can also lose inches in targeted areas by doing these techniques. So when you have someone that wants to lose some inches, it's a great way to do it.
Okay, so real quick, I wanted to, when you were talking about that, what about loose skin? Because people experience loose skin as well.
Yes, there's some things we can do for the loose skin. It's not the be-all, end-all on tremendous amounts of weight loss where surgical intervention is required. But if you do fascia blasting during the weight loss as it's occurring, especially if it's a large amount of weight, 50 pounds or more, you can get the skin tightness back a lot easier than you can without doing some kind of fascia work. I also encourage my patients to eat collagen-rich foods once they've gotten to their goal for their weight loss.
What are collagen-rich foods, real quick, because we only have a little bit left?
Yeah, vitamin C has a lot of collagen induction capabilities, and they can take collagen directly or bone marrow. They can eat bone marrow. They can use gelatin, things like that.
Very good. Very good. So today, we are just winging it today with, we had some issues with internet, but we're still going to focus on the reason why we're together. Transformations Medical Weight Loss Clinic is the sponsor of the show, is a sponsor of the Lillian McDermott radio show, and they believe in health and wellness. And that's why Dr. Tammy is on the show today. Dr. Tammy, I want to thank you for being on the Lillian McDermott radio show. And we lost Trey from this little internet issue, but I know that Trey is always so gracious to share information. We've just got a few seconds left, Dr. Tammy. If anybody's on the fence about acupuncture, what would be a great place to learn a little bit more about acupuncture?
nccaom.org. That's the National Certification Commission of Acupuncture and Oriental Medicine, and they have a website. It's nccaom.org.
Very good. Thank you so much, Dr. Bennett. I have a feeling we're going to have another conversation because this is so important. And for you, my listening friend, you have a choice in how you can heal your body. Isn't that exciting? But whatever you do to achieve what you want, you'll need to do whatever it takes. So this is Lillian McDermott wishing you love, peace, joy, and unexpected abundance. Make it the best day ever. Wow, this is interesting. Brian, I'm hanging up here. Stay on. You can stay on here because we can continue our conversation. I feel bad that Trey left us. And
I think because he was using his phone as his camera. I think that's why.
I don't know. It could be, but I want to encourage you, my viewers and my listeners, to go to transformationsweightloss.com. That is where Transformations becomes your partner for a lifetime to achieve the health you want. I'm so grateful to you, Dr. Tammy. And do you go by, because we didn't have an opportunity to meet, but now you know how to go on the show, and we'll be able to, next time we can start where we left off. But so share a little bit about your philosophy when it comes to, if somebody comes to you because they want to release weight, what's the first thing that we would encounter when we come see you?
I do a fairly extensive history on the client. It's probably 10 pages long. I inquire about the diet intensely. I want to know everything about the habits and patterns of the person that is coming to see me. I want to know their motivation for the weight loss. Is it 10 pounds to get into a dress? Is it 100 pounds for health? Is it because someone's nagging them at home? I want to know everything about them. And then the social dynamic. Eating is social. Right? A lot of people say, my partner eats this way and I can't lose weight because of, and my family doesn't support me, or I'm on the road a lot. I had this is a great story. I worked with a flight attendant, and she worked for one of those very busy airlines. She was in the air all the time, and they had her going through the Southeast. And she said, my options are very limited with what I can eat with airport food, and I don't have time to cook. And I'm literally in the air, on the ground, in the air, on the ground. And I don't know how or what to do, but I feel awful in my clothes and I really need to lose weight. And so trying to get her situated with a plan of action and making it comfortable and convenient was the hardest part. It's real easy to know what to eat. It's hard to know what to eat when you're traveling like that and you're around. She had to serve food that she couldn't even eat.
Yeah. So
it was something that we had to go over two challenges. One is the rush and the stress of her life, the convenience factor. And then the other was when she was home and she had downtime, she was so bored, she would eat because of boredom. So I had two things I really had to deal with. So everybody's different. Not everybody eats at home. Their lifestyles are unique. I've had long haul truck drivers that I've worked with that they come to see me and they're like, I've got to lose 35 pounds and get my blood sugar under control because they won't renew my CDL license for my job.
Sure.
Had a woman who brought her husband in that was just becoming diabetic as a result of his poor eating habits and not sleeping because he was driving 2 days and off 1 day. So we really have to adjust into someone's lifestyle. That's important.
So how were you able to help the flight attendant?
So she was really good because one of the things that she wasn't aware of is that if on her day off, which was Sunday, she would fly Monday through Saturday. She'd be off on Sunday, and Orlando was her home port or base. That she could get one of these, I can't remember what they're called, but it's like a lunchbox that keeps the cold cold and the hot hot, and it's in containers in portions. Mm-hmm. And so she could cook on Sunday, put all her meals together, and actually carry that with her consistently. So she didn't have to worry about, is there a microwave? Is there an oven? Is there this? Is there that? So she was able to compartmentalize everything and travel with that little bag that made her life so much easier.
What's that bag called? Because that sounds excellent for me too, because I have food allergies.
Yeah, it's a bodybuilders use it. It's on like bodybuilders.com. And it's like a duffel bag that has all these little hidden compartments that you can put your liquids, your salads, your supplements, everything all in one container. And for her, having it all organized and at the tip of her fingers made her life so much easier. She lost all the weight she was looking for. And then she got super cute and was all about the super cute. So she started doing things, like the fascia blasting for her thighs. And she's like, I'm going to get into a mini skirt. That's the one thing I really want to do. At first it was, I need to lose weight because of my health. And then it was, the mini skirt time, right? She hadn't been in one in a long time. And that was a big goal for her. So that worked out really well. The long haul truck driver, he met his goal to reduce his A1C and got his blood sugar down so where he could pass his physical, but he didn't really lose weight. He wasn't about the number. It was more get my blood sugar under control without medication. So
interesting that the side effect of that wouldn't have been to release the weight that he wanted to.
I mean, there was some, but it wasn't like it was a stellar event. It wasn't like, oh, my gut's gone and I'm super healthy. He was a means to an end, right? He just was focused on that CDL license. That was it. So that was his main motivation. Very
good. Well, those are great stories. I appreciate it. I would love, are you ever you're only in the Lake Mary area?
For now, yes. It's funny because I just drove through Jacksonville yesterday. I was just there. We have family just north of Jacksonville. So we go visit every couple of months.
Oh boy. It'd be nice to meet you up there. To have you give me a treatment, but I have no problem going to Orlando.
Anytime.
Okay. And for those of you, if you want to give your number out for your business.
Yep. It's area code 407-687-8451.
8451. Okay. Well, thank you so much, Dr. Bennett, for your information today. And I'm looking forward to learning more about this fascia blaster. And because I do want to make a 100% recovery and stay pill free and also regain my range of motion after this accident. I still am trying to figure out why we have PIP, because there's so much limitations that we cannot do. Like massage therapy is something that we can't do anymore through in the healing process when it comes to PIP. But I'm learning a little bit more about PIP as we go along. So perhaps maybe we can establish a wellness plan for me in your office.
Definitely.
Yes. So thank you so much for thank you for being part of the show, and I'm looking forward to our next conversation.